how do you determine that the marriage has broken down beyond reconciliation? It's a very important process, and there are about seven major, we call that in law of facts,
okay,
that you can use to establish that a marriage has broken down beyond reconciliation. So,
7 of them?
Yes, 7 of them. So you have somebody walk into your office, and then he or she, mostly she, says, good morning, lawyer, I have a problem. And you are wondering, where do I place, because beyond those 7 facts, you cannot bring an action to prove that the marriage has broken down beyond reconciliation. So you must.
So the person has to give you every reasons that would fit into those 7 facts.
No, it doesn't have to. You don't have to prove all 7. You just need to prove 1.
Oh.
You just need to prove 1.
So how do you make up for the rest on the person's behalf?
I would say it's bonus if you're able to prove more than 1.
Okay.
It establishes a stronger case.
Yeah.
But essentially, once you're able to establish 1 of them, you're good to go. So the person comes to you and then begins to tell his or her story that, let's say I have found that my wife or my husband is having an affair somewhere else. And then the person even goes further to say that, look, I even heard that he has 2 children somewhere else. That is evidence to prove that adultery has occurred or has happened. And so one of the first facts that you can use to establish or prove that a marriage has broken down beyond reconciliation is that one of the parties has committed adultery. And MK, this is so, you would be amazed to see that or to hear that if without any empirical data, I can top of my head say that over 60-70% of all proceedings, divorce proceedings, are anchored on this very first one.
Really?
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes. and
wow.
It's surprising to know that this is still one of the single most influential or important factor that drives people to divorce. And I've always said that, let me put it this way. I have friends who would say that you lawyers are always in to break homes and what God has put together, let no man put asunder. And then a good friend of mine, rebuts it by saying that, lawyers are doing God's work. Oh. What God hasn't put together, you have a sworn duty, to ensure that it doesn't stay together. Yeah. And so if these things are affecting your mental health, people are in homes that they are suffering, either diseases, because one of the partners keep repeatedly going out and then bringing all sort of things home. Yeah. And this has affected them psychologically so much that they feel like they cannot go on anymore. And I am of the opinion that as much as I'm a firm believer that families should be kept together, but if it threatens your life, and there are a lot of people going through some of these things, the wife or the husband, most of the time we blame the husbands, but we've had cases where, yes, the wife, because the husband is having fertility issues or is having some other forms of issues, the partners go out there and then they get pregnant